Hello and welcome back. So in this tutorial we're going to create the straps going across the valleys of those pedal. So we need to start with some kind of a line. Here if you look through the generators, and by the way the generators is where we can get a lot of repetitive patterns or noises. Our Gaussian here is actually from generators. And if you scroll down, you can see these straps. Drag it here to the graph, and then I'm gonna change a few settings. I don't need that much, and I don't need any shifting, and I don't need it to be that thick. So drag it down. Okay. Now we clearly need another. First of all, it's tilted, and also it's kind of like we need horizontal and vertical lines. So we need to transform this guy and add it back. So with this node selected, we can hit space button. We can create a transformation 2D, and we can go to the angles. We can say we're gonna rotate it 90 degrees. So it's straight down, and then we can create a blend, and we can connect foreground and background this way, so we can add them together using the blend mode as add. So that way we're adding those two together, and we have this cross. And of course this is not fitting with our image yet, because this is like this is something like this, and our cross is actually in the middle, so we need to shift it and also tilt it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, first of all, let's try to do another transform 2D, and what I need to do is offset it both x and y. I'm gonna rotate it to all the way to the top. All right. Oh, you know what? I think we need to repeat it also. So let's see if we have any tiling setting here. Lighting levels, probably not, but let's see if we can stretch it. So 50, yeah, we can actually stretch it. So I'm gonna do that as 50 and do 50 here also, and that means we're only moving 25 maybe. It's not that easy to do here. Let's actually create another node to do that. Select it. Let's create a save transform grayscale. That's actually a way you can do the tiling here very quickly. So we can tile it this way. All right. And then I kind of need to rotate it 45 degrees. So let's see, do we have rotation? Yeah, we do. So degree here, I'm gonna change that to 45. All right. Oh, you know what? I think we don't need to actually tile it, so let's drag the tile down. This should be it. All right, so we have this now. And let's take a look at the combination. So we're gonna add this guy on top of this blurred results. So we're gonna use another blend and connect these two, and the blend mode will also be add, so we're adding those together. Result goes to the repeat. Now you can see we have those little straps being created. Of course we can change a few things, like first of all, I think this is a little too high, so we can create a level, and then we can use the level to control the thickness. So we can drag this guy down, output, go down, so it's not that high. And I kind of want it to be also maybe a little drag it even lower, maybe a little wider. So going to the beginning, I can change the width to make it wider. All right, looking good. And after this, we need to create buttons on those conjunctions. So we can also start with something simple like a dot. So we can drag this gradient radio here, and we can merge it on top. Now we can look at where do we add this dot. We can of course add it at the very beginning on top and bottom, left and right, or we can add it here. So I'm not quite sure which way do we go yet. One thing I do realize is that if I added them too early, I probably need to add more later on. So let's just add it here. Okay, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4 different dots. Okay. All right, the first thing I need to change, of course, is the size of this dot. So let me drag this in to make it smaller. Or you can rightmouse drag this to the gradient to change the size to actually look at this node you're editing in the 2D viewport. So I'm gonna adjust its size, and again I know that I need 4 of them, and 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, so on and so forth. So let's see if I can first of all repeat it. I'm gonna go create a save transform grayscale, and then I'm going to tile it this much maybe, or instead of tiling I can also offset it to 0.5. Yeah, I think that's a easier way to do it, because now we can we can just, you know, make it go up and down just like what we did here actually. So let's copy this and paste it here. So we have up and down now, and we merge them together. Let's do a merge. Oops. Not merge, actually blend. And we're gonna blend this guy with this guy. So now let's use add, and we have those 4 dots we need to add on top of this guy. So let's blend them together one more time. This is the foreground and this is the background, and we add them here. Alright, now we have these dots. We need to of course change the blend to add. Alright, now we do have a problem though. We add them together, but those dots, this guy is already really bright, so we add them together, it's not gonna do any different. So we can maybe blend it here instead. So let's drag this guy to here, and we blend it here, and that goes to here. Right, so we make this go down, and then we blend. Now we're getting a much better result, but still we're seeing this intersection here. We can also see that in the 2D viewport. Okay, so we can also say, instead of adding them together, we can just do copy, and we can define where do we show the background, and we can actually use our dots as alpha here in the blend or in the opacity, but we have to make this alpha really solid. So let's create a histogram scan, and this histogram scan, what it does is basically finding a value here, and anything below this value will be considered as black, and above it will be white, and you can crank the contrast to make it really strong. I'm just crank it up all the way almost to the top, just maybe a little bit soft on the edge. Alright, and this is going to be the alpha here. Let's take a look at the result. Now you can see we're adding the dots on top of the grayscale. Okay. Alright, and for the dots we can also do a level. Okay, and then we can level the dots up to make it brighter or darker, whatever you want it to do now. Okay, one more thing I don't like about the dot is it does looks like a cone, because the setting here is using a cone shape. Let's change that to hemisphere, so it's gonna perform better. Alright, And here in the levels, let's see if we can tweak it. Can make it go up a little bit. It's not updating fast enough, so it's hard to tell sometimes. So we're gonna have to find a proper value by changing it and look at the results. Let's take a look at this guy. I think it's actually okay here. I suspect the reason we're getting really strong result is because of the adding results will flatten. It's because we have some value there already. So here we can create another level before we add them, and we can change the entire brightness down so that we're getting we're clipping the top. We're clipping the high value here down, so that when they add to this base color, which already have color information here, so that they wouldn't really get too far. All right. So there are some back and forth tweaking to get a better result. All right. So this is gonna be our second tutorial. We add all those details, the straps and the buttons. In the next one, we're gonna go ahead and add some wrinkles around the button to make it look a little bit more realistic. All right, see you next.